Yep to the yip. You already know what time it is, man. It's your girl P.O.C. Turn your radios up, spread the word, spread the message. You already know how we coming each and every time we go live. We got a jam-packed show for who? You, yes, you. Everything we do is a FUBU effect. We bring that conversation that's for you and about you. So definitely tap in right now. Revive is alive, Revive is alive, reviveisalive.com is a place where you need to be. And definitely go ahead and click that link in my bio to take you directly where you need to be at Revive_POC. Today we got a jam-packed show. As always, we have a special guest coming through, Enrique Cruz. He is a guest that I actually had an encounter with at a Move March last week on May 13th, 2021, was the first time the city of Philadelphia actually showed love and remembrance of the people who really passed away, who were murdered, truly, honestly, in this Move bombing that took place in 1985 here in the city of Philadelphia. So I actually was doing a report for WHYY when I walked up to this gentleman, Enrique, and I asked him a question about, something that didn't necessarily have to do with the Move bombing, but he actually wanted to talk about something that he experienced while at the march of celebrating and remembering the Move family, the people who actually passed away and died, and once again was murdered when that bomb dropped in 1985. So I have Enrique Cruz on the line with me. We're going to be talking with him, about an event that took place where he just wants to share, his opinion and his thoughts and how we can actually come to a solution for, situations like this. So it doesn't necessarily have to happen again. So Enrique, you're live on Revive. How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm feeling quite well, quite good, quite blessed over here with love and happiness. I'll check to everyone.
Yes.
I'm just over here just, trying to survive out here in North Philly, down Tioga.
I'm with it. And before we get started, I want you to introduce yourself and let the people know exactly why you're on the show today.
Well, my name is Enrique Cruz. I was born in upstate New York, but then came down here after a year. So I was one when I came down to Philadelphia. Used to live on Cumberland and Lee Street. Then after I just, started going all over the places. You know how it is. Crazy life, crazy style,
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, now I'm here on downtown in Frankfurt, freaking just chilling with the peeps. But me personally, I got two brown parents, but I came out one of the breast, so I'm dealing with the whole mixed breed life, try to, be out there and stuff like that, try to reach out to people that don't understand about, mixed breed kids and how we actually feel and how we grow up, with other struggles besides, the color of our skin or our facial features or how low our hair gets, stuff like that. It's just it gets more deeper to that. It's
definitely understand.
Just a tidbit about me, though.
I'm with it, and I want to get into today's conversation because I met you last week on May 13th at the Move bombing march, and you told me a little bit about an incident that actually occurred with you and one of the Move family members. So I would like to get into that a little bit.
Well, okay, but before we do that, I just want to know, to everybody that that march, that movement, that event was amazing. It was awesome. It was beautiful.
Agreed.
I felt so much energy,
Agreed.
So much love. I see the neighbors come out. They done saluted, and we all saluted back. It was awesome. It was amazing. Then we went out to Malcolm X Park. It was cool.
The love, and I definitely agree with you when you say the love was there. I got chills just being a part of that environment. It was so much feelings and energy and emotions pouring out of everyone, specifically, and I really, truly, I appreciate that. So I definitely agree with you when you say the love was there.
Yeah, because, I thought everybody's out here yeah, sure, we all say it, but not all of us know it, and the ones that do, it's like, boom, it was out there, the force, the feel, everything was out there. Yeah, it was just, it was totally an experience for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your experience. How did your experience go and what actually took place?
Well, I went there around 5:05, even though the event started at 5:00, and I was walking down, and I see a sister wearing all white, and she asked me, "Yo, you going to the Move?" I'm like, "Yes, sister, I'm going to the Move." And it was like, "Okay, cool." So me and her was walking, just chilling, whatever it is, and she was just asking me a little bit of questions, She was like, "How did you hear about us?" I'm like, That's right. That's right. It's us. That's right. All right. So I heard about us, through the BOM, and then they, told me about the move. I was like, okay, cool. Then I read about it. I'm like, you know what? Boom, let's do it. Even though it was just a couple hours later from the actual event. So I read about it the day before, around like 8 or 9. So other than that, I read the whole entire thing. They said that we're all white and wherever type of religious stuff you got on. I'm like, okay, cool, bam. So I had to go to the laundromat that same day, and just dressing all white. But I gotta clean up first, and then I went. But besides all that, though, so I went over there, and then everything was chilling, copacetic. We got the Jerubas right there with the little the one, don't know what to call it, but it has, the curry shows and stuff on there. So I was like, yo, that's what's up. But when they started asking for volunteers and stuff like that, just to come up, who are wearing all white, just to come up, I was like, okay, cool. So I'm over here, just grabbing my hands up, waiting for a sign, and every sign was passing me by, and then when it was time for the last sign, I didn't get it, but so then I was like, excuse me, sir, can I, get a sign? And then he was like, you ain't black, and then just turn around. I was like, okay, all right. So I know this brother right here, see me, just in all white, with my religious stuff on, and yeah, okay. So then instead of continuing any conversation, I just went back to the move. Boom, went back to March. I stayed focused on what I was actually there for, which was 11 people died, 205 people was homeless. Serious stuff was happening. People was, getting burnt in their house, and everybody knows about it, but nobody talks about it. Mm-hmm. Like me, I didn't hear about it until I got that email. But this happened in '85. I know somewhere, somehow, my mama know about it, my grandma know about it up in North Philly, but ain't nobody talk about it. Mm-hmm. There's not one word mentioned in the books, on any book, So then once I got that email, I was like, you know what? Boom, the book's right here. Boom, I got proof. Boom, let's do it.
So let me ask you this question. So pretty much, just to break down what you just said is that you went to the Move March. You got there and you wanted to volunteer to actually hold the signs in the protest, in the march throughout the streets. And when you asked one of the family members, are you able to hold one of the signs, the reaction or the response was that you're not black, and they turned their back. And from there, you went on and you proceeded to do what you were intended to do, which was to honor the people who, were affected in this Move bombing. Correct?
Yep.
So
showing love, showing happiness, showing everything that I can, because it's messed up.
So how did that make you feel?
It made me feel like that we were still in black and white. It made me feel like that we were still back when the white man said only color right there on the on anything really, on the car, on the bathroom stall, on anything that they could get their hands on, Mm-hmm. And then when my Africa told me that, even though I didn't know that was his name until afterwards, I was like, yo, for real? Like Africa, really? Anyway, so that's how I felt. I felt like I was back in medieval times where ain't nobody sees you but how you look on the front. And I was like, you know what? I just got judged by the cover of my book, of my, but I never have, but ain't nobody asked me why. Like, like why? Like, did he, like he's seeing a light-skinned brother just asking for a sign, but ain't nobody asking why.
So what is it? What does it feel like? What does it feel like? To be told that you're not black.
It gives me shivers down my soul, and it makes tears run down my eyes and makes my blood sugar go low. Because I'm over here thinking, what does that have to do with anything? There's 11 people out here dying because of they got burnt in their own homes, and yeah, what does my facial features, what does uh, my look matter about what happened at 85?
Well,
So people.
I don't think that that was what he was saying. That your look, is the reason that 1985 took place. Uh, I'm not sure what he was saying. I'm not going to put words in his mouth, and I'm not going to
Uh,
justify what he was doing or what he said.
yeah.
Uh, but
No, right now I'm just shivering because uh, yeah, right now I'm just shivering. I know I'm stuttering and stuff like that. I'm trying to get my whole thing straight. It's just
yes, definitely take your time.
it's
No rush.
it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. But I felt like as soon as I got heard of that, as soon as I got told of that, I was like, okay, so we're back in the times where we got signs on everything saying you can only use this or you can only use that or this is only for you. Like, really?
But well, let me ask you this question: do you take in any regard to the fact that it was personal? So for something that you're talking about, right? And I respect everything that you're saying when it comes down to segregation and discrimination. You know, back in the 60s and 70s, where we could only use certain water fountains, buses, food, dining situations, all of that. I agree with that, right? But that was more of a public aspect. It was like public schools, public dining, public toilets, public water, things of that nature. This was more of a personal, private encounter. Do you think that that has any wiggle room in this type of situation?
Mm. I'm gonna say no. I believe that it was a
Talk to me.
personal issue on top of an event that was so important that it needs to be said and done to the T, to the letter.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a personal thing I felt. And instead of me taking it out on everybody and just left the whole thing, I still joined and I still stood there. And I went from point A to point B up until point B was no longer there no more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I took it up as more of a self-personal issue because I'm not seen throughout any community of what I'm actually am, except for how I like two brown parents. I came out with the bread, but I'm a mixed breed baby. I understand my ancestry is before my parents even existed. Like, yeah, sure, I grew up knowing that I'm Latino. Both parents are Latino.
Mm-hmm.
Just I understand that part. But I know that I'm actually more than what I am because I'm a mixed breed baby. I'm like, cool. So if these two people here are different ethnicities, but they made me, how much more do I have? So then, I went out and looked and understand my roots. I understand where I came from. I understand the lost history that was in my family that I gained back many years later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's hard for me because I'm not a solid bloodline. I have branches. I have, I spread out more than what is told to me by my parents and by my grandparents and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this.
They forgot.
I'm sorry.
That's cool. People that they forgot exist. I brought it back to them.
So let me ask you this question. When it comes down to, that actual statement that you're not black, why did you decide not to speak up at that current time?
Because it would be too big of a ruckus. Ain't nobody there for, because somebody said something to a person that doesn't match up or doesn't feel right. We was all there because of the event that happened that took place.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't there for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that memorial or resemblance had to be known perfectly to the T. I understood that weight. I understood how much weight was there, how much frustrating energies on top of love and happiness for one another was there. And I was not going to disrupt any of that just because a smart remark was made or a bad judgment call was made. Okay, fine, cool, So then I kept it pushing. I kept it moving. And I still joined.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to that moment when you will say something, what do you want people to get out of it? Like, what would you say the next time something like that happens when you do have time and space to address it?
Like in that situation, I thought he would took like at least 10 seconds or 20 seconds of his time to ask me why, to see where my train of thought at, to see who is this person that's so light-skinned that came to this event that wants to support me. Because apparently a lot of people think that if you're light-skinned like me, that you shouldn't be in groups with people that might hurt you. Mm-hmm. And I'm over here like, people that might hurt me. Who would hurt me? Nobody knows me. I'm there for an event. We're all trying to figure it out together. Mm-hmm. Who's going to hurt me in that event? And
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Enrique. not necessarily at that particular event, in general, because it's more scenarios like that, that occur for people who feel the same way that you feel, who may be in your shoes.
Okay. Well, when I go into the Poppy store, or when I go to any store for that matter, I talk Spanish, and over here looking sideways like, who's this light-skinned person I don't know that resembles maybe me, maybe them, maybe who? Like, it's like when people see me, they see like a new creation, like a new being or something, like maybe like an alien that dropped from the sky, because I look so different than everybody else. I'm not a typical normal face. I'm a mixed face. It's like they're trying to analyze me or trying to dissect me without using tools and utensils. It's like they're invisible, but yet I'm still getting analyzed. I'm still getting studied, just in a silent way. So then when certain people do come up to me, ask me, hey, what are you? I was like, I'm a mixed breed baby, but to keep it simple, I'm black. But why do I say that? Because I understand my lineage. I understand my bloodline. I understand that I'm more than what my parents are and what my face is and what my grandparents are. It goes further back than that. Mm-hmm. So, I just go ahead and do my research. But other than that, I get questions all the time. Like, oh, I see his name is Enrique Cruz. Do we need a translator for him? And I just talk to them in English where they can know in their own grammar. No, I don't need a translation. I don't need a translator. But they assume from my name that I need somebody to talk Spanish to me. But then people assume by the way I talk, I have some type of bad intention. Or the way I walk, I'm about to go steal somebody or rob somebody or something like that. Or I believe people just don't understand what they're looking at when I come through. Mm-hmm. So another incident happened when I was visiting friends up in Walk Bloom, Pennsylvania, and I was stuck right there on Scranton, PA, bus station. And I went up to the bus station, and the lady said, "Do you have a ticket?" I was like, "No, but I got this receipt." And she was like, "Okay, well, where are you coming from?" I'm like, "From Philadelphia." And then she was like, "They let you on board without a ticket, but you got a receipt, and you're coming from Philadelphia." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. And this is the only thing that you have is a receipt." I'm like, "Yes." The receipt has all my information on it that says a round trip. She says I can't get on board because I don't got a ticket. I was like, "Okay, fine." I'm over here thinking. All right, fine, cool. Thinking. And I asked her, there's an error here. Can you go to the back and look at your files? She was like, yeah. She went back there, looked at her files for 2 seconds, and it came back and said, nope, you're not on the list. I'm like, okay, that's fine, okay. So I had to call my friends to come pick me up. Cool, we chill, this and that, blah, blah. 4 days later, I come back. The same person come back, trying to go back to Philadelphia and Scranton Station. And the same lady attended to me. She said, "Sir, how may I help you?" This and blah, blah. I was like, now I get a sir. Okay, cool. All right, well, ma'am, I came here Sunday, and I'm trying to go back to Philadelphia. I paid for my round trip ticket, so I'm trying to go back to Philadelphia. I wasn't able to get on a bus the first time. Hopefully I get on the bus the second time because I'm trying to go back home. And she was like, ain't you the same guy from Sunday? I was like, yeah. um, she was like, yeah, I can't help you. I gotta find somebody else. So they found somebody else. Guess what he found? A brother. They found a brother. I'm like, okay, cool. They found a brother. All right, cool. I'm over here thinking, don't she know we could be cousins? Anyway, so then the brother's like, how may I help you? I was like, I'm trying to go back to Philadelphia, and I repeated everything that I just got done saying to her, but to him. Cool. He said, all right, cool. Give me a couple hours because your bus ain't going to come until 5:15. I'm going to figure something out for you. He was on the phone for an hour and 45 minutes. An hour and 45 minutes. Calling whoever, calling I don't know who, in order for me to get on this bus. So then apparently he needed validation that that this is a real situation and that I'm actually a real person.
Mm-hmm.
So I get on the phone with the same tenant, and I told her the same exact thing. The tenant says on the phone, well, we can't help you. We can't do anything for you. You just have to pay for another ticket. I'm like, so I don't have to pay for another ticket. I have a receipt for the first and second one about a round trip ticket that you guys are not going to honor. She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So I said, listen, brother, I can't handle her. She's trying to talk Spanish to me. Ain't working out. Like, eventually she talked English. Like, I'm going to just pass it on to you because you're a tenant. He's like, all right, fine, cool. I have to go get some food and then come back. An hour later, I'm over here, and he's like, Mr. Cruz. I was like, yes, brother. Don't call me Mr. Cruz. Just call me by my name. All right, Cruz. Cool. So, this is what done for you, okay? You could get on this bus. Greyhound's going to honor it. You ain't stuck here. You all good. All right. So then I told him, okay, well, thank you. And then I said, I don't know where you're going. I got to shake your hand for this because you did something that nobody else can do for me. What you did was human. Your job. You did exactly to the T. And ain't nobody going to see that but me and you. So we shook hands. And then I told him that I bet you didn't know that you was helping out a light-skinned baby. And he was like, yeah, because I thought you was Caucasian. I was like, that's cool. That's cool. At least, as long as I know, I'm cool to my peoples. So then he says, well, just because not everybody looks like you, at least I know the struggle because I am you. I'm a mixed breed baby myself. I'm just dark, but my folks are black and Puerto Rican. I was like, okay, cool. So you just like me. You got your front, no matter how you came out, but inside you know your peoples. And he was like, yeah. I was like, cool. So then when I'm about to board a bus, he comes right back out again and says, bus driver, yes, that's him. He's cool. He's validated. I was like, thank you. Thank you very
Validated.
much. Even though, yeah, validated. Like he seen me. He heard me. It's like, it's just that whole, just those two things. Hearing somebody and seeing somebody for what they actually are, it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing. It's words that only I check can describe. It was a community out in Caucasian land somewhere. Which is me and him.
So Enrique, let me bring the conversation back. And I appreciate you sharing that story, which gave us, more perspective on different situations that you have to go through, just based off of, who you are as a person. You didn't necessarily ask to be born, in a biracial situation. This is just something that is a part of who you are, right? So let me just bring it back because we're running out of time. So when it comes down to what do you want people to get out of this conversation, please explain that to us. What do you want people to get out of it?
What I want people to get out of this whole entire thing is not to be upset, not to be mad, but to think at first. If you're there for something, do about your business and be there for that. Don't get sidetracked on anything else. And hopefully everybody and every person can stop and think, hey, this person is different. Let me go, strike a small conversation. If it aligns, if a person bumps me, this and blah, okay, cool, I'm sorry, brother, this and blah, blah. But then, ask you why I call you brother. Ask you why I call you cousin. Ask you why I call you a whole family. Just ask you why. Strike a conversation. It don't got to be a whole 25 minutes. It don't got to be a whole 35 minutes. No, it could be a 2-minute thing, a 5-second thing. Like, if I was just asked the question, why would you want to sign? I would just open my mouth and say, because once a person opens their mouth, their character comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy at the bus station, whose name, by the way, is Jameis, a Caucasian name, a dark-skinned brother with more soul than I don't know what. That's deep.
I appreciate that. So
that's what I want the people to do. I just want the people to just stop and think, ask why. That's it.
And then my last question for you today before I let you go is, what would you like to say for people who identify, like you, and people who feel the same way and have the same sentiments and have been in similar situations? What would you say to them as far as solutions to help them be able to not get caught up in, what other people's ignorance truly is?
Mixed breed babies need to understand that we are bridged to not just one community, but to all and many communities. Don't matter what your bloodline is, as long as you understand where it came from, as long as you can backtrack, whip out paperwork if you have it, pictures, anything. Technology these days, you spin a tube and boom, call it a day. Some people just gotta pull their hair out. Other people gotta give blood, probably bone marrow. But for me, I had to pick. I'm spit in the tube because that's what I can afford. I can afford that type of technology, and I understand the struggle of technology. But yeah, other than that, just back yourself up, talk your walk. You just don't walk. You always gotta talk.
Mm-hmm.
But it's to whom you talk to. See, I just use a Caucasian word. Whom you talk to about walking and talking, because not everybody is going to be the same person. Even though we all look different, we all still got to be careful of our secrets that we tell others. Because we don't know who's playing for whom. We just know that, hey, what? You look different. Cool. Let me ask you a couple questions. Let me just see if I can validate what you're saying, because you could be going from the other side and just coming over here like an informant. I'm just aware. I'm careful. I try to be intelligent as much as I can. But the struggle is real. There's different types of struggles, and right now, mixed breed babies are feeling more struggle than anything else because we feel like we're back in the 60s, even though it's 2021.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, Enrique. Thank you so much for coming through, blessing the Revive Airways, being able to, tell your story and your voice being able to be heard. That's the whole purpose and sole intent of Revive Radio. We appreciate you reaching out to make sure that we got this story live today on Revive Radio. Tell the people once again, I'm not sure if you want people to follow you or anything of that nature, but if you have anything that you want them to share, some type of organization or anything like that, resources, that would be dope.
Yeah, well, the only resource I got is I'll wear a black and white mask with feathers on it. If I see you, I see you. If I don't, it's okay. My name's Enrique Cruz. Find me wherever you please at, because I'm not advertising. I'm just trying to speak for the people.
I feel that.
No matter whom they are, yes, or what they are.
Yes. I appreciate you, Enrique. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday evening. I definitely hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you, Acha, and thank you for seeing me and viewing my voice.
No doubt. Peace. Have a good one.
You too.
You missed this morning's episode of Revive Radio? Well, guess what? You can catch that playback on YouTube. All you have to do is go to Revive_P.O.C on YouTube to find more information.